This series is about outstanding architecture from around America. From stunning residential to public spaces to commercial, this is an architectural deep dive to uncover the incredible stories behind each design. Welcome to America by Design. Our ByDESIGN industry experts have selected innovative, inspiring, and award-winning projects.
Good design has your attention. Good design makes you feel like you know what you're supposed to do in that space. This is a place to relax. This is a place to work. This is a place to have fun. And the more people understand there are actual people out there creating the world that we live in, then they'll have a better sense of what they like and don't like, and perhaps even be interested in getting involved in their own community.
Let's get started with our first project.
Last season of America by Design, we profiled architect Thomas Wong and his work. And he brought me here to the Natural History Museum of Utah. Well, I've come back because there's a deeper design story to be told. Thomas, here we are back at the canyon. I remember this from last time.
That's right. As you recall, it's inspired by some of the natural landforms of the state.
And I understand to create this canyon, you literally cut into the mountainside.
We did. In fact, since we're on a slope here, the ground goes up to the 4th floor, and that concrete wall holds about 4 stories of earth back. Even though this designed space and abstraction of nature is beautiful, we wanted to refer people back to the natural landscape. The Oquirrh Mountains beyond, the Great Salt Valley, it's really a breathtaking view. This heart of the museum is a place to gather. It's where we have big events. There's a free and open public area that people can come to, and you don't have to pay your ticket until you get way to the back.
Oh, to the exhibits.
That's right.
And what is this rather grand structure here?
This is what's called the collections case. It demonstrates the greatest hits of what's held behind here in collection storage, and it tells the story of the land from ancient dinosaur fossils of 250 million years ago to the rise of mammals and eventually of people occupying this place.
Wow, so it's like a teaser to what we're about to see in the museum.
That's right, and in fact there are smaller instances of this very thing that happen in the exhibits. Mini collections cases that tell the story of the natural world.
I can't wait to see it.
Let's go. So these bridges cut across the canyon at several levels and meant to activate everything and mimic a trail hike.
Okay, well that's quite the trail there, going up the side of the cliff.
You bet, there's a big drop there.
Now this bridge connects between the research part of the museum and the exhibit spaces.
Right, we wanted the visitors to be exposed to the collection storage area where real science happens.
Jason, pinch me, all of this is uber old and real.
That's exactly right. What we've got here are a bunch of authentic dinosaur fossils, but not all fossils are bones. So for example, we've got this track plate, this walkway footprints of an extinct pterosaur.
Look at that.
Found in southern Utah.
And up here I saw a couple of really big heads.
So we've got a couple of dinosaur skulls here. These are ceratopsian or horned dinosaur skulls. One is Diabloceratops from about 81 million years ago. The other Cosmoceratops from about 75 million years ago, both from southern Utah.
Okay, so the guy at the bottom is 6 million years younger than the one at the top.
Right, and these were both described as new species to science in 2010, just as this building was being designed.
Okay, and speaking of the building, I think it works for you guys. I can see, for example, people looking in on all this.
The intentionality of the design of this building allows the real science to happen here, and the public can look in and see that real science happening.
Yeah, so they're sort of coexisting. These guys, these old guys, are coexisting with the general public.
Exactly right. Just as our mission says, this allows us to illuminate the natural world and the place of humans in it.
So Thomas, this feels like one of those trails you were talking about.
That's right. We're starting in the ancient past, the past worlds when dinosaurs ruled the world. And the visitor experience climbs the hill until you get to the very top when humans arrive and the future is at stake.
So how does the building and the design speak to the future?
That's a great question. On the rooftop, we have 1,500 solar panels that contribute to 25% of the power usage of this building, which is a LEED Gold building. So the question of how we relate better to our natural world is one of more sustainability, and that is our future.
The Natural History Museum of Utah is an architectural lesson in abstraction. I don't think I've seen a better example of an architect looking to this, the landscape, for inspiration in the design.
Great interior design is about world creation. We want to be transported. And particularly in restaurant design, we want to be transported maybe to a different place.
Tacos and Tequila is really interesting because it's an ode to the taco as a street food. It's really in this open, airy loft space. It feels like you're outdoors eating with your friends, having a picnic on the street.
Lawrenceville is one of Georgia's fastest growing communities. So it's no surprise that this beloved local chain would build its flagship here to redefine their brand. Oh, the space feels so fresh. Now, Danny, I understand that this is the flagship location.
That's true, yeah. And even though Tacos and Tequilas has been around for 15 years, but this was their first opportunity to do a ground up new facility from scratch to kind of meet all of their needs.
Wow. And now, Morgan, I know you did the interiors for the space. And
Yeah.
I understand there was a huge amount of collaboration that had to go into that.
Yeah, it was a super fun process. We got to visit all of the Tacos and Tequila's previous locations and take cues from what they liked and bring that into the space, get inspired by the existing finishes and also the Tex-Mex cuisine.
Well, Blanc and Diego were very open to new ideas from our side, and they also wanted to carry through some of the existing Tacos and Tequila's branding that they had already established. So at the end of the day, I think we got a good marriage of kind of old and new, and it kind of sets them up to move forward as a company.
Now, Blanca, Tacos and Tequilas is a beloved Georgia-grown brand. Am I right?
It is true. Yes,
Yeah.
we are family owned and operated. And this particular one was very important for us because we modernized the brand and we decided to have a new style, refresh the vibe of the restaurant to give our customers a better experience.
And I understand you have a fantastic menu, which I don't want to miss
Of
before I
course.
leave.
And we will give you some tequilas.
You are on. Now, when you're working on a space from the ground up, it gives you a unique opportunity to collaborate between the architecture and the interior design right from the beginning.
It does. As soon as we get the site plan for the space, we start working on it in the office, but we work on it as a team together. So from day one, we're looking at kind of big picture architectural questions, but we're also looking at this through an interiors lens, which at the end of the day, kind of, I think, collapses our design time, but also just gives us a better product. We're totally integrated from day one.
A good example of that is when we were working through programming, we realized that we had this large wall to fill that we really wanted to be a focal point for customers when they came in. So we found the Wayne Tile Company's Aero Collection, and that allowed us to create this really special composition.
Stunning. Now, when you are working with your client and those initial stages, how much do you take your cue from how the customer themselves is going to be using the space?
It's really important. The client really didn't want high turnover. They want people to come here and spend time here and really enjoy it. So we selected our seating based on those needs. So we selected Grand Rapids chair for all the dining chairs, the bar stools, and the outdoor furniture. They have a great product. It's super durable, as you can see.
Really sturdy. Yeah, it's got some weight to it.
And it's also really pretty. And OW Seating made those tabletops, which
This
are
is solid?
Yeah,
No,
it's
solid hickory.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's tough stuff.
And they also produced all the built-in booths and banquettes.
Now, Danny, when we first walk into the space, we immediately see that beautiful bar. And I feel like the design of the restaurant really radiates from the bar. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very important. I mean, tequila is in the name of the restaurant, so the bar is very important. It's a big revenue generator. And one of the design moves we made was to incorporate this clear story window above so that light comes into the bar space during the day, which is why it's so nice and bright in here now. It also really highlights the red built trusses above. So when that light comes in and hits those nice warm materials, it's really fantastic up there.
Oh, that's spectacular. And I love what you did here where you brought that outdoor patio into the bar.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a trick too, because we've got this big opening here. We want the bar to function both interior and exterior. And so we've got the La Cantina doors that fold out and allow them to either open up fully or they could just open one or two. But it also allows them to just have one bar, right?
Okay.
So they can, instead of having an indoor bar and an outdoor bar, have one big bar that serves both directions.
Okay.
Which is great for them, but for us on the design side, it's a little tricky to design a bar that really has no place to hide. Everything's got to work kind of perfectly in order to make this all function the way that it needs to.
I just have to know, Blanca, how is this working for you?
It's working amazing. The community is very happy with this location. They come and they thank us for bringing this environment and the ambience and the experience that we have brought to them. And as a matter of fact, because of that, we have chosen to remodel our #1 store. We are going to be working again with Morgan and Danny from Office of Design. And what we have decided is we're going to bring elements of this store to that store. So we are happy. We're very excited about that.
Congratulations all around, you guys.
So now is the time that we've all been waiting for.
Yes.
Our margaritas. This is mango margarita, classic margarita, and strawberry margarita.
Okay.
So cheers,
guys. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The Dupont, rationalized by the wonderful Randy Gerner, really brings to life the exterior aesthetic of the structure through its materials to really mirror the grit, the diversity, the culture that is Brooklyn.
I've been looking forward to this day. I'm meeting up with Randy Gerner. Randy would have to be one of our generation's big architectural thinkers. He talks about being true and honest with your materials and celebrating the technology and structure of a building. Let's go on a deep dive. Randy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. What a pleasure to meet you. I'm a big fan of your work.
It's so nice to hear that.
Yeah, and this is your latest project?
Yes, this is called the Dupont, and it's a 41-story multifamily residential building.
So many questions for you, Randy. Where do I start? You were a student of Gordon Punshaft.
Well, I wasn't actually a student. I was an intern architect, and my job was to work for Gordon, but the work that I did was really sharpen his pencils and get his lunch.
Okay. While you were doing that, did anything rub off?
He really cherished the materials that made architecture, and he used those to express just a handsome, beautiful aesthetic of his buildings. And yes, that did rub off on me and has actually become the foundation for my design philosophy.
Okay, this is what you talk about celebrating the structure.
Yeah, very much so. I think it's important to express the structure of a building. When I look at a building, I see the forces of the weight of the building coming down into the ground and how the building actually holds itself in place, all of this tremendous weight. And to celebrate the structure, I think, is a really important design opportunity.
And a big sin is ornamental for ornamental sake?
I think that ornament is a good thing, but ornament actually should enhance the structure of a building and celebrate the structure of the building.
Okay, strap yourself in, folks. This is going to be a journey.
Mike, we're on the 38th floor right now. This is actually the pool deck, the Dupont. The Dupont is a 41-story building, and it's located on the Brooklyn waterfront, and we have fabulous views of Manhattan. One of our planning goals was to try to make each of the apartments participate in these views so that they had the opportunity to take in all of these views, even on the lower levels, because we have uninterrupted views because of the waterfront.
And from the pool deck here, above us, is a classic Randy Gerner move.
Oh, very much so. It's interesting. Historically, architects were always very much focused on creating a building that had a strong bottom, a tall shaft, and then a crown at the top. It was modeled pretty much after a Greek column, which had a base, a shaft, and a capital. And so I think it's really important when I design my buildings that a building have somewhat of a terminus, and on the top of the building, which we call our crown, we want to express the technology of the building. And so we're using that crown to house all of our heating systems, our cooling systems, our domestic hot water systems. And most times architects want to hide that sort of thing. I think it's really important to make a feature out of it, to make it special so that it communicates to the user, to the residents, that this is really a unique experience.
This is one of our units. We have 381 apartments here, ranging from studios, 1s, 2s, to 3 bedrooms.
And have they all got views like this?
They do. Over 90% of our units have water views like this.
Come on, Meg, water views?
Okay, more than water views, I guess.
Yeah.
We've got city views, we've got the Empire State Building, we've got the Chrysler Building, we've got the UN Building.
All stacked up.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Crazy. Now, who lives here?
Who doesn't live here? Everyone from babies to moms, dads, professionals, creative types, finance guys. On top of that, 30% of our units are reserved for affordables.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see that coming.
So this is a building that was developed as part of the 421A tax abatement program. But more importantly, our company motto is love for the people, love for the place. We really wanted to create a project that is for people to live in, enjoy, thrive, and really just live their best lives.
Yeah, I guess that mix adds to the community in the building as well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is what makes it an authentic building, right? This is New York City in and of itself in a building. That's the beauty of our city.
And I know you rate design highly with all your projects. Why is that?
For us, design is everything. If it's not a well-designed building, it's not a Rockefeller building. We pour over all the details from light, views, size, layouts, everything. And Mike, you know what? I think you should ask Randy about that bowl.
That bowl?
That bowl had something to do with the design of the building.
Really? Randy, he works in mysterious ways.
He sure does.
So Randy, this setback is a great place to look at one of your greatest loves, concrete.
I do love concrete, I have to say that.
Are you a modern day brutalist?
Oh, Mike, I just don't like the way that sounds. It's a bit harsh. But let me tell you where the word brutalism comes from. The French were very much involved in the early design of concrete, and they called exposed architectural concrete like this Béton Brut. Just like they would call champagne, brut champagne. The word brut actually means raw. So it's really a lovely term. Brutalism is really a design philosophy rather than a structural technique. What it is when an architect likes to refer to the true identity of a material and express it and show it and celebrate it. That's the goal of a brutalist. And as you can see here, the concrete this is actually the structure of the building. This holds up the building.
It holds the building down, it holds it up.
And holds it from waving in the wind.
Yes, you're using it also as a cladding.
The wonderful thing about this concrete, it's a low carbon concrete. We're using something called slag cement. So all of the waste product that comes out of making steel, it makes it stronger.
And I guess if it's stronger, you're using less of it.
Which means I have a lower carbon footprint even.
It's rather creative. How do you achieve this look?
Well, I have to work with many design partners. Jeff Smilo from WSP Engineers helps me design the most graceful and delicate type of concrete that I can use. I work with Heidelberg Materials, who makes a fabulous low-carbon cement that bonds all of the materials in concrete together. Glencoe Construction, they actually have the artisans that put all these forms together, and the forms are made by Scott Systems here in upstate New York.
So these are all your team. Are they tradespeople or are they artists?
They're very much artists, I have to say, even though I won't tell them that. Just take a look at this building and look at how straight these columns are for 41 stories, setting these in perfect unison. It's amazing.
Now, this is not your first rodeo together, is it? Something's working here.
Yeah, it's actually, I think, our third, right, Randy?
Yeah, this is our third building together.
Yeah, we've had 2 other successful projects in the past, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that we collaborate so well together.
You know, ultimately, we have the same client that we're working for. It's the 381 new residents living in this brand new community.
Yeah, the way you two do collaborate, it's kind of like this tightly woven unit, a little bit like your concrete, actually, the pattern in your concrete.
It's quite a metaphor.
I think he liked that.
I think he did.
Also, I noticed traveling around the building, up and down the elevators, you two both make a point of asking, are you enjoying living here?
Yeah, we care a lot about what they think. We want to know how we did, right? They're the ultimate arbiters of whether we built a successful building or not.
We realize we're creating a new home for them. This is a new community of 381 people.
Right. I mean, they're your bosses.
Absolutely.
I followed Megan's advice and asked Randy what the significance of the crystal bowl was. The answer was rewarding. Back in the 1800s, the Gilded Age, there was a cut crystal factory right across the road here, quite an internationally renowned one. This patterning is a nod to that history. What a wonderful gesture and a typical signature of Randy's work.
Today, we're taking you inside the newly renovated Sánchez Elementary School, just east of downtown Austin. This place is rich with history, and keeping its connection to its local culture has been woven into the very bones of this state-of-the-art learning environment.
We're in East Austin. You know, the Hispanic population, the community here has been here for generations. So a lot of history here. We really wanted to make sure that we bring that into the school, which is, I think, what we've done.
What do you think the role of design is within a project like this?
You know, I think design has to be intentional. And in the education space, we don't often lean into it. One of the things that we knew is that we had the right partners, the right design partners, we'd be able to bring something to our students that really allowed them to leverage the educational space for generations to come. It's an elegant design. One of the things that you may not know is that we leverage some of the pieces of the existing building in order to make the budget work. And so when you walk through this building, you'd never know, but that allowed us to be creative and create a unique solution for this community.
Intentional.
Very intentional.
Okay, so this is not like the kind of schools that I went to.
Right, neither did I. It's a beautiful campus, a beautiful building, and we were lucky enough to be able to modernize our original campus through a 2017 bond that was passed through Austin ISD. We had to really be intentional about what were some of the things that we wanted to keep, what were some of the things that we wanted to change. For example, in the old building, we didn't have doors to the classroom.
Sure.
Yeah, it was an open space. The walls didn't go all the way up, so that was another thing we wanted to be different. But then we wanted to keep some of the color, we wanted to keep the shapes, we wanted to keep some of the cultural aspects of it.
So I'm also seeing a lot of really great art here. I mean,
Yes.
You've got this mural, this curve, these colors, and that incredible snake piece over here.
Yes, that is an important part of our school, and we'll get back to that because it's a good story for the snake.
The challenge for the renovation of this school was really how to create a next generation learning environment while maintaining the historic roots and character and sense of belonging that was meaningful to the school community.
So we were fortunate to be able to work with a great group of parents, teachers, and community members to get their input on what was important to them for the school. We had over 20 meetings with them.
20 meetings, that's a commitment.
Yeah.
And this school really is located in a unique place in an East Austin neighborhood, but also adjacent to downtown. And really, it was important to address both sides in the design.
Both sides. Well, I have to stop here because we've been walking beside this really great curved wall. What's going on here?
Well, that represents the snake. That's part of the school's mascot. And so that two-headed snake represents the city and the neighborhood side. And then that body, the length of the snake, is that corridor that connects the two sides together.
Wow, this place really opens up. It's so large. What on earth is this space?
This is the learning stair, and we created this space out of an underutilized outdoor courtyard that we converted to be this community space to connect the cafeteria to the library.
Well, as big as the space is, I'm still seeing a lot of really great details here.
Yeah, so you see the hexagons on the wall, on the ceiling, and the bookcases behind us. Those were a motif that was pulled from the existing school, had hexagons on the exterior wall, and so we brought them into the new space. And then we have the words on the stair risers here in both English and Spanish. That's because Sánchez Elementary is a dual language school. It's named after George Sánchez, who was a pioneer of bilingual education.
I love a staircase that doubles as a dictionary.
And then our wall graphic that we created with the help of fast signs that shows the students in the school, in Austin, in Texas, and their place in the world. Welcome to the library. This is a really fun community space for the students and teachers here. We, of course, have lots of elements that have nods to the past and the community roots in this space as well. So again, you see the hex ceiling tiles, there's hex details in the carpet, and even our light fixtures are in the shape of hexagons.
This thing looks really custom.
It's actually not. So we worked with Spectrum Lighting to use standard light fixtures to create what looks like custom light fixtures. And what's great about it is it has an adjustable color temperature to allow the librarian and the teachers to set the mood for each individual class. This mural was painted by Raul Valdez in 1989, and he created this with the help of students and teachers from Sánchez Elementary. It depicts the history of education.
I mean, this is beautiful, but what is this space actually used for?
So it's not just a gallery space, it's a multi-purpose space. The teachers can use it however they see fit. They may use this for teaching history, for art. Again, we're a dual language school, so they use it for practicing public speaking. The colors in the mural were actually an inspiration for the color palette for the new materials in the school. So we pulled from the blues and the greens, which you see here in the carpet and on the walls beyond. The warm tones, yellows and oranges, were also used in other spaces in the school. So we really were blending together the existing artwork and the new design of the school together.
So this is the other end of the snake. As you can see, this is an addition that we did to create this neighborhood side vestibule using the school colors, the green and yellow. You can also see the work that we did to match the brick. We worked with Acme Brick to create a seamless appearance so that you couldn't tell what was existing and what was new. So here it is, the double-headed snake we've been talking about. This beautiful mosaic was originally a bench created by a parent that we saw in the lobby the first time we visited the school, and it became the design inspiration for the whole project.
And the colors in this are so great that we wanted to make it pop, so we chose these neutral colored wall tiles from Travis Tiles to really offset the piece.
I'm positive they touch this when they walk by.
They touch it every day. They talk about it. They love getting up close. In reality, the students are just so proud of this space. They're proud to bring their families and friends, and they just love coming to learn every day.
We hope you've enjoyed our look at some of the finest architectural designs from around America. Join us next time for more groundbreaking architecture on America by Design. For more information on any of the projects featured in this series, go to bydesign.global.